Chivalry 2 is a 3-year-old game that has been content complete for 8 months now, and despite that, the game is alive as ever. But why is that? What's going on, guys? It's Sean Salami, and even with every misstep Torn Banner has made, this game just refuses to die. I think there's a few reasons for that. I wanted to get into it before we get into our usual narrated gameplay on Rudhelm. I think the biggest reason is there's a huge demand for a melee slasher game. First-person shooters have always been popular, but growing up with Lord of the Rings, and if you're a little younger, Game of Thrones, you probably want a game like this to be made, and Torn Banner hit that out of the park with the foundation for a great game in Chivalry Medieval Warfare, and then Chivalry 2. But they have made a lot of missteps supporting these games once they've been out. Take, for example, the Tenosian Invasion update. It was teased for the 1-year anniversary of the game being out and coincided with the Steam release, and the influx of players was huge. The same thing happened when the game came to Xbox Game Pass, but they didn't capitalize on these opportunities at all. It would have been the perfect opportunity to release some cosmetics or fix a lot of the bugs plaguing the game at the time, but honestly, they seemed content just to bring in those players and rest on their laurels. It's pretty frustrating to think what could have been with this game, but despite all of that, this community continues to run its own events and competitive play and keep the game alive, doing the heavy lifting in that sense since day one. The community really is special, and I wouldn't change it for a thing. Well, maybe some of the duelist egos, but that's the story for another day. And if you want to get into the Chivalry 2 community, my Discord is a great place to start. It's been like the gateway to the rest of the community for Chivalry 2 since it started over a year ago. I'll leave that for you to join in the pinned comment if you want to check it out. But let's get into some Rudhelm gameplay using the longsword. Now, we're off to a very slow start. We've died a bunch already and we're barely getting any kills. We got a little sidetracked trolling our own archer because he kept hitting me in the back and trying to take my kills. As I've said before, though, you want to reevaluate what you're doing wrong and why you're dying so much, and basically just slow it down. It won't help you if a friendly archer is shooting you over and over in the back with fire arrows, but I digress. This guy was a beast and giving me a lot of trouble with this falchion feint, where he would do it into a stab. It killed me more than once in this lobby. I forget in this game how many times exactly, but he was giving me a lot of trouble. I'm not that good in general at fighting against one-handers, but that's definitely a good feint to use. It's a slash into a stab feint. So this is what's nice about using the longsword, is you can gamble like this if I know what he's doing and I know I can get my hit off first. The longsword is just so quick with its excels that overhead to overhead feint on slower weapons or like a drag with the battle axe. You can take the calculated risk, I'll call it, of a gamble. There's an AFK guy over there. I want the free kill, but first, make sure you help your teammates in a situation like that. Make sure everyone stays alive first. This is a big time bad decision to just get reckless and rush in like that, and we get exactly what you'd expect. Definitely an autopilot moment if I've ever seen one. I was pretty sure this was the guy who killed me in the beginning with the Highland sword, so I got a little kill thirsty and hit my teammates a bit much there. And now we want to help this guy over on the side here. After some foreshadowing earlier, we're going to get into a fierce duel with the guy with the falchion. He's just a menace with this thing, very aggressive. I like his play style a lot. He doesn't see any reason to back up and heal. He's going to finish this fight. We love to see that. And unfortunately, after a fall here, he's going to come out on top and get the kill. But a good fight nonetheless. And that kick, by the way, I'm pretty sure was an accident because he didn't two-bag or anything. So this group fight here is a good example of target switching. What you want to be doing in a team fight when there's a large group against a large group, never attack the same guy over and over again and fixate on one person. You want to keep switching who you attack. Whenever you see a skirmish like this, you want to be on the outside of it. You don't want to be in the center, in the very middle of it, because you're going to get hit by your teammates and then surrounded by the enemies and killed. Here we're going to get an XL through him while he was getting up. We're saved now, but we're going to try and get back into the fight. This is a long time to be holding block right here in this 1vx, but you want to do this when you're fighting multiple people because you want to look for a counter to get your stamina back and not leave yourself open to a hit right away. Someone that always cries on TikTok or YouTube, why didn't they just kick? But you can always drop your block right beforehand to not get kicked anyway. Rudhelm really is just a phenomenal map. I'm still working on the map ranking video, by the way. Expect this one to be pretty high up. Now, after a few free kills from behind, we're starting to really get into a rhythm here. Starting to feel ourselves after a really slow start, which was pretty brutal, honestly. Now we're starting to really get in the zone. Longsword is stabbing nicely. We're getting some counters with the overheads here against a few messers. Good stuff. It's always a good thing to know where the bandage carts are. So we know there's a little bandage crate in here. We're going to go do that. In the middle of that, though, we notice our ally here is in trouble. So we're going to help him out, make sure he's okay before we grab another bandage. Always be a good teammate over your own personal stats. Unless, of course, it's an archer, but they're not really our teammates anyway. They're just the enemy by default, in my opinion. And he's actually going to hit us with the thank you emote as we walk away. Pretty wholesome stuff. Here I respect emote because I'm in a one-on-one moment with them for a little bit. It doesn't really last, but game recognized game. Like I said, they've been giving me a lot of trouble in this lobby all morning. Here I thought I had myself free, but check out this great drag by the enemy here. Oof, you love to see it. Danax users don't usually do that. I've talked many times about how Danaxes are not some scary weapon that you have to be afraid of like Reddit, and it's not really overpowered at all. But I do think a lot of the stereotypes around the people who use them are true, and it's rare to see someone pull off a good drag like that, because usually it's a noob trap weapon where you're just getting them thrown in your back by teammates, or they're just excel slashing. So, great work by him. Here we want to help out our teammate against an ambusher. Ambushers are extremely annoying to fight one-on-one. So this is going to be a tough fight because a lot of times they'll back up, throw knives, they kick a lot like he does there actually. But we're able to evade a lot of his attacks with good footwork, stay our distance a little bit, miss a few stabs, but in the end we're able to get the kill done with the help of a teammate. This is something you want to do every time you walk by a friendly archer. Now we're going to skillfully walk over towards the archer without hitting the mason so he can kill him, and now we kill two birds with one stone. We get rid of the enemy and we get rid of a teammate archer. So my number one tip is to not do team damage, but if you do down a teammate like right here, I actually make the right decision to not get him up right away, because if you do down your teammate, you want to finish off the fight you're in, because you don't want him to get killed as soon as you get him up or get you both killed. A lot of times people will revive you right away and you both end up getting hit while he's in the animation to revive you, for example. And the thought is there, it is appreciated, but you don't want to get everyone killed instead of actually getting the revive done. So I'm not sure if people left their side or we had good players join our team, or just because I was playing better and I was, the top player, because we really started to turn it around here. A lot of the first few objectives were pretty brutal, especially the gatehouse. It was getting really hard to capture. But look how many people are in the courtyard right now. Like, our teammates doing a really good job. This is usually the hardest objective to win on Rudhelm, and our team is doing a very solid job. Like, I was actually shocked at how quickly this game turned in an instant. So now we're pretty sure we got it captured. We're just going to turn around and mob up some easy kills from some half-dead enemies and help our teammates out so they could advance into the final objective. Tough situation here where our back is against the wall, and yeah. Now, I'm going to decide to be a big-time team player here and get really reckless, and we're just going to go for it. We're going to go for the air right now. My idea here was to hold off their spawn wave, but no one was really coming, so I didn't want to attack the air by myself because then he'd kill me pretty easily because the air is a little stronger than just normal enemy because you can't interrupt their initiative. But I'm at least some kind of distraction, I would think, but regardless, we get the win here. I love you guys. It's good to be back. And if you want to check out the video on the screen now, it's my best longsword games all in one video for you. 5 games, 1 video, perfect for binge watching. And I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.